Like a boss.
Alright ladies, so what you guys are going to see is one of my videos that I made when I was in London about how to become more attractive, how to become an object of desire, right? So you guys are going to learn that. And in it, it's kind of funny because I hosted that event in a Scientology building and they tried to recruit us. No motherfucker tried to recruit us. So you're going to see that, you're going to see the video, you're going to see some looks in my face. You're going to see me send secret messages to the audience because quite frankly, I got a little paranoid being there. They were looking at us and they didn't blink and shit. Look, great people, but some people just scared me. But the lady who hosted the event, who let us be there, was very nice to us and stuff like that. All right, so if you guys enjoy this video, you guys can also purchase the online course that I have, the Psychological Game of Attraction. You can purchase it if you guys enjoy it because I talk a lot about that on my course. This is just off the cuff and people were asking me questions. So I hope you guys enjoy this and see you inside.
All right, good. All right, so the chapter that we did was, if you guys didn't read it, I listened to it. It's how to become an object of desire, right? So you guys know I talk about this a lot on YouTube, and that's pretty much one of the things that people don't like because, you know, when you talk about becoming desired, it means that people want you and they can't have you. You know, so you're almost like a tease to them, right? And what people mistake when it comes down to being desired is that you become desired, not possessed. You know, they can't really have you completely. And you might say that, you know, how could somebody not really have you when you're in a relationship with them? That's the delicate balance that you got to learn how to balance. And that's what I'm going to teach you, how to be unattainable and yet attainable. You know, because people go in either direction sometimes. Does that make sense? Yeah. If you guys have any questions, just raise your hands and yeah. All right, so essentially desire, where does desire come from? Anyone take a guess where does desire come from? Yes, yes. A sense of lack, right? It doesn't come from a place of what happened? Insecurity, yep.
It's something you're missing and you want to obtain.
It's something that you can't really put your hand on it, but it's a sense of not being enough, right? A sense of dissatisfaction. So being desired is you are a source of pain for a lot of people. You know, they'll think about you, but in the process of thinking about you, it's pleasurable because they hope they have you, but at the same time, it's also it also produces pain. And that's the part that people don't understand is that in order for somebody to truly desire you, you have to learn how to inflict pain properly. Yeah. Don't mess with anything here. Huh? I know, but yeah, you know, it's there's a lot of money here. All right. So yeah, what was I saying again? Sorry, I got interrupted. Sorry. Not you. Not about you. But what was I saying again? Help me out. Pain. Yeah. So that's a part that people don't understand is that in order for you to create real desire in someone, you got to learn how to inflict pain. You know, and that's the part that people don't really think about because we have romanticized liking someone as a painless experience. You know, Disney. You really think about it. Your picture of love doesn't really come from reality, but from movies. Think about that. And the only time when you do find real love, it's like rare, right? It's like somebody winning the lottery and you don't even know how real it is between both of them because they might put a smile on in your face, but then when they get home, they might argue. We've seen plenty of people like that. We've seen plenty of people like that. I know plenty of people like that. So you can't really say for certain that there's such thing as loving someone and completely being committed to them without a sense of fear of losing them. Because when you love something, like your phone, when you feel like you lost your phone, you sort of panic. You know, and that fear of losing your phone is always there. And that's why you take care of your phone. That's why you nurture your phone, quote unquote, because you fear losing your phone. So you treat your phone better when you know that losing it causes pain. But if you know that losing your phone wouldn't cause pain, you just throw it away. It's like clothes that you buy in second hand. You don't even treat it that well. It's fucked up, right? What's up? Curse. No, me. I'm saying no cursing. Yeah, church.
So from the analogy that you're giving with your phone and the clothes, I guess that's only really. It's only when you take some kind of balance, you feel like perhaps you don't have them or it comes to insecurity or wanting something that you can't have. which is, I think, is right. But there's lots of things that we don't have, or that we can't have, but we don't care whether or not we have them. You know, it has to be something that you...
If it's not valuable, you don't care.
So I don't have that. I think it's just
Well, there are two things. One, there are a few things. One, it has to be in you. You have to naturally like the person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to really connect, or else the desire for them won't be as, the desire for you won't be as real. The first law of Robert Greene is choose the right victim, right? You got to choose a person who's going to blend with you. So someone who would not, hey.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much.
Good. I'm just putting a thing so people don't come in and out.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Alright?
Thank you. So, so that's one thing. It has to be in you. So if it's not in you, you can do whatever you want. It's not going to work. The second thing is that there has to be some, you have to see other people wanting it too. It's like basic marketing. Like if so, there's a way of doing that, which I talk about creating a triangle. There's different ways to create that competition, particularly with guys when you put them in a sexually competitive state, where they're like, oh, some guy wants you, you know. It's like this girl. I saw this girl, and I saw this is a friend of mine who knows this really famous person. I told him yesterday. And I didn't know he was really famous, the person who he knew. But when I saw his Instagram, he has like 2 million followers. I was like, damn. But then I saw that he was following this girl I used to see. And that she was following him. And I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck? And I'm like, this bitch. Oops, no, you know, this chick, man. Like, but they kind of made me a little jealous, right? Because I didn't know. They could be friends. She went to college. She went to high school in New York City, you know, so they could be friends. But naturally, it made me like, all right, let me look at her photos a little bit more. Right? So, but the thing is, it wasn't like obvious. It was subtle because I did the research. You know, everything, it cannot be obvious, right? So there are ways to do it, and that's what people get wrong. Is that the reason why people do it wrong is because they think short term. They don't set traps ahead of time. It sounds a little wrong, but you gotta be smart. Unfortunately, with people, you know. Hey, just sit down. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. So yeah, so how do you do this, right? So one of the ways to create that loving someone, but at the same time having a little, keeping your distance, is having a coldness to your personality, like a slight coldness to you, you know? Like, for example, like Chef Ramsay, right? Chef Ramsay, he looks mean, he is mean. He doesn't look mean, he is mean. But when you see him being sweet, you're like, oh, he is a nice guy. No, he's not. But because he's giving you a mixed signal, he's showing you his dark side, but then from time to time, you get a glimpse into the sweet Ramsay. You know, you sort of like start liking him more, and you forget all of the mean shit he's ever said. You know? Why? Because now you value his presence more, right? So for example, it could be like, I used to go out with this girl who had a hint of coldness with me, where she was there for me, but when she was away, she just wasn't there. Like to the point that when she was with me, it made me convinced that I got her. But then when she left, it was like, okay, I didn't expect that. I thought she was gonna, you know, come back. You know, this chick is being crazy, right? So that hint of coldness comes through many different things. One is not smiling too much. You know, that's a big one. People are conditioned to smile a lot. Not smiling a lot makes people want to make you smile. So they'll say things and look at you. Hopefully you smile, and if you kind of smile, they're like, oh, I kind of made him happy, right? So, and if you notice, when you like someone, what do? You smile a lot. But when you don't like someone, you don't smile a lot. And it's the reason why people you don't like you. You know? You're not smiling tells them like, okay, like I gotta do something to get a reaction out of them. So they'll try to make you smile, because people feel insecure when someone's not smiling at them, because it's not a sign of friendliness. So they'll chase to make you smile. And when you do smile, it rewards them. So your smile has more worth than somebody who smiles all the time. You know? So that's why you see a lot of leaders who smile a lot don't get respected that much. But leaders who don't smile a lot, they get respected more, because when they do smile, it's a rare thing. And it means you did something good. So all of your action will have a reaction from people. Does that make sense? Yeah, that's a big one. And I notice that because when you don't like someone, you notice you don't smile that much. You know, they'll say something and you're like, okay, yeah, cool. You know, you'll look away and stuff like that. But if you learn if you just notice, a big thing of learning about all of this is just notice how you behave when you don't like someone. Like really, really pay attention to your body language, to how you feel, to how much you talk, how little you talk. Everything about you. Notice everything about you when you don't like someone. And what you'll notice is that you're completely different. You know, the person sees you different, and you are completely different. But then when you start liking someone, then that's why when you start liking them, that's when you open up, they take you for granted. Because now you're showing them too many emotions. The emotions they once worked for, they don't have to work for anymore. So now they'll start taking you for granted. And that's when you say, oh, you know, every guy, not you, every guy, you know, just as soon as I like them, they take you for granted. Unfortunately, with people, you can't really show them how you feel about them, how much you appreciate them. It's just human nature. It's not that, you know, they're wrong, but like, you gotta understand human nature and then act accordingly and not resent it. You know, you can resent the fact that when you open up to people, they don't like you. You can resent that, or you could use it to your advantage and understand that and maneuver yourself around those obvious barriers. Make sense? Any questions? How to apply?
Obviously, you apply that cold approach, but not at the beginning though. It's like somewhere in the stage, isn't it? Because like when you're approaching it, say girl, well, you wanna.
What do you mean?
Like at the beginning, when you're meeting somebody, you wanna be like smiley and accommodating.
No.
From at the beginning, you do that.
Yeah, because in the beginning, when you wanna lower your nonverbals a lot, because you don't wanna come across too animated. Like, don't talk your way out of things. It's kind of like when you talk to someone, don't smile too much. Just give it a soft smile. Don't, hey, how are you? Just like I did earlier. Like, oh my God, free videos, right? No, but like you're like, oh, free videos, cool, right? And the thing is that people either want to see more of you, less of you, or they're indifferent, right? When you sound too excited to meet someone, sure they're happy, but they're like, okay, this is too much. Maybe they won't say that, but you don't want to risk it, you know? So it's better to just lower your tone, like when you're in an interview. And slowly, when you get to know someone, you'll notice they're like this, and then you slowly come out. But in the beginning, that's the mistake people make, because they're trying to impress. They're too eager to impress someone. So they'll show off their good traits.
Sometimes I feel like women's got this barrier thing at the beginning, but you want to like make it friendly and smiley, put the barriers down, because then you got... Exactly. People, when women do that too. You'll be on a date with a girl, and she'll be quiet, and she'll have a whole bunch of awkward silences, and you feel you're like, all right, let me talk my way out of this. No, you be quiet too. You be quiet. She wants to be quiet, you be quiet. You know? And the bartender will look at you guys like you guys don't know how to date. That's the only awkward part, to be honest with you. Because the bartender looks at you and you're both like just like this, and I'm not budging. I ain't talking. And the girl's not talking, and we're just looking at each other, and the bar just, you know, and it's kind of like, looks like a lame date.
But then it wouldn't actually become a lame date.
What do you mean?
If you're both not talking.
What do you mean?
So, as in, like you just said, so she's not talking and she's sitting there, so then you don't talk as well, or he isn't talking. And then we're both just there quiet.
Hey, man.
Isn't that just too much ego?
Possibly. But hey, man, you know, it's kind of like, why don't you say something? You know, you gotta say something, you know, and I'll pick up my drink and I'll be like, hopefully you say something. I'm not talking, you know, because that's just me. You know, so eventually you're gonna have to get so awkward that you're gonna have to talk, and that's when I'll talk. And then you're like, okay, so when I talk, he talks. All right, then you feel like, all right, now if I want to make this not awkward, I know he's gonna talk. So let me talk. So now you start initiating things, right? But the key, unfortunately, it's all an ego game. It's true. You know, but then again, isn't it all love based on ego? Like, you know, you like someone because you notice somebody liking them too. You know, so it's all a mind game. Everything is a mind game. You see the world, but in reality, this is just a reflection of the mind. The chair was in the mind. This whole building was in the mind. Everything is a mind game. You know, everything's a creation of the mind. So you just have to fess up that this is a mind game, and you got to play, because you know that why don't you text someone as soon as you get the text message? You text your friends back fast, but I've dated girls that as soon as she friend zones me, she starts texting me back fast. Oh, now you have your phone. You know, now that we're friends, you got your phone on you now, you know? So it's Somebody's laughing?
No, yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, what do you, sit over here. In the crowd behind you, yeah, don't make me talk too loud. Yeah. Hey, what's up?
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah, take a seat right there, yeah. You know? Yeah, all right. I gotta put this almost right here.
I think you find at any time, though, you say you do it at the beginning, if you know someone for a while, could you start acting on, or do you think?
Yeah, of course, look, you know someone and they're your friend, okay, but like when it comes to relationships, Even with your friends though, but at the same time with your friends, you have to have a life. Like coldness, you can be intentionally cold or you can be busy with your life. And it'll naturally come across with a little bit of coldness, you know? So with your friends, I don't do that, but with romantic partners, you know.
No, that's what I mean, but if you've known them, if they're friends,
But with your friends though, you gotta be careful though, because just because they're your friends doesn't mean you could be too much there. You know, people do get tired of you even though they're your friends. You know, that's taking your friends for granted.
No, I
yeah.
mean like your friends, but you like them.
Yeah, but even if you like even if you like your friends, have you ever met a friend who was just too fucking there? Like, hey, let's do something. I love you. You know, like it's like.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like, but you know, so you can't take your friends for granted. Yeah. Like, you can't treat your friends like you treat your family. You know, you maybe gotta do it, but you're taking a risk. You know, you do it from time to time when you guys are drunk and you guys will forget. You know, whatever. I mean, I'm a guy, so who knows, ego, right? But essentially, though, everyone, when you open up how you feel, unfortunately, people sort of lose a little bit of respect, a little bit, because when they don't know how you feel about them, they're always thinking of you. When they don't know how you feel about them, their mind is working more to process the signals you sent them. But when you make the signals clear by telling them directly that you like them, their brain is not going to work that much because they already solved that problem. You know, like you got to realize that when there's a problem that you want to solve, the problem consumes you, and that's all you think about. All of your attention is directed towards it. That your brain is creative; it's a creative thing. So it naturally tries to solve problems. So that when you become the problem, when you become the puzzle, the brain will try to solve you. And unfortunately, as soon as it solves you, it goes on to the next. Who knows? Maybe some people are not like that, right? Let's hope. Yeah. It sucks though, right? It really are, because the thing is, you might say also we're programmed to not love someone. No, it's the programming that we use for love wasn't really meant for love. It was meant for setting goals. And it just happens to function well with also the same mechanism works in the same way with loving someone, which is we humans are goal-seeking things. Like we like to achieve things. As soon as we achieve a goal, it becomes anticlimactic. You're like, oh, this is it. We're here. It's like traveling to a country. Oh, I'm here. You know?
It's like an Olympic athlete when they get a gold medal, they don't know what to do, they end up shit.
Exactly. You gain someone, you gain their love, and then you realize they're just a person. And the person who you had in your mind wasn't really, I mean, they're there, but it wasn't as exciting. There wasn't no fucking, like, you know, parade and shit, high fives and backflips and shit. It was just normal. And that sort of disappoints people in a subtle way. Like when you first get married, I never got married, but I could just imagine they're home, they're like, okay, I guess gotta go to work. You know, right? As soon as the honeymoon's over, you're like, all right, gotta deal with this person now, right?
So you say you don't get married?
No, well, no, don't listen to me though, but I won't tell you that. But essentially though, you know, it's always anticlimactic when you tell people how you really feel. Unfortunately, they just, like, for example, who are the people who we take for granted more? Our parents.
Yeah.
Who are the ones that tell us they love us more? Our parents.
Sure, when I stormed out of the house for a few years and they appreciate me more, so like when they're there, they're like taking for granted, but like I fell out with my mom, and now I've got a great relationship after I fell out because I was like, wait. Yeah,
you sort of stood up for yourself.
Sure,
yeah, man. But that's the thing is that, like, it's something that we don't really examine, because when we examine it, it really shines a very dark reality on people that we're sort of not as you know, as good as we think we are. We just justify a lot of things. In reality, everything that we do is for our self-interest. Is to even when we act even when we act humble, we got to make sure there's people watching. You know, like I'm not taking a loss without taking a gain socially. Like you better know I donated money. You know, like everything is, you know, and very rarely do you ever give money without people knowing. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. When I'm on dates, I give money to homeless people. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. No. All right. So yeah, that's one thing. Like with having a slight coldness to your presence, right? Not smiling too much, keeping your face very almost bland. When you're talking to someone and they're saying something interesting, you just look at them in a very bland way. Like when you look at someone very blandly, it makes them insecure. You know, usually most people, you gotta understand, most people look at people with happy, smiling faces like this. But why interviews make you nervous? Because they're interviewers like this. You know, intimidating. You know, but that intimidation sort of reflects that I'm better than you, status-wise. Like if I'm able, not intimidate you dangerously, but like make you nervous around me, you sort of will feel like I'm a little bit higher status. quote unquote. It'll feel like it, you know? And so you'll react accordingly by becoming a little bit more attractive. Just a little bit. And the guy as well will become a little bit more attractive. In fact, most likely, he wants to have sex with you that night. I mean, he wants to marry you. And, and so he sort of will overreact to your non-reaction. Another thing is showing negative emotion. That also increases attraction. Most people don't show negative emotion, especially on dates. Or even with friends, you keep it to yourself. But when you actually show, you gotta understand, people of higher status are more willing to show negative emotion than people of lower status.
You have to like balance it though, like you can't just, there's a point where you hit the threshold where people just get turned off.
No, of course, yeah, you gotta, you can't, that just means you're not, you know, you're not being strategic, you're just being emotional, you know. But showing negative emotion means that if they say something stupid, you're like, what the hell did you just say? You know, like I was with a date with this girl once, and maybe she was just, you know, retarded or something like that, or crazy. But she just always made faces, like when I said something, she was like, what? And I'm like, what are you talking, what are you making that face for? You know, she just make faces and stuff like that. But when she made faces, I sort of got insecure. I'm like, what am I saying wrong? Like, all right, let me say something that makes her not look at me weird, you know? So then I started noticing that I was talking, but as I was talking, I was registering her facial expressions and reacting to them and changing what I said and how I felt based on what she did. Wow, that's interesting. So it's kind of, if I do that too, if I want a girl's talking, she's like, yeah, you know, I do fashion model. I'm like, what? What do you mean fashion model? What are you talking about? Everyone says they're a fashion model. What do you mean? You know, like, and they gotta like almost defend themselves in a way. But most guys are like, oh yeah, fashion model, oh nice, nice. But when you give them like a face, like, what are you talking about? Like, you sort of like, I don't believe you, you know, and that's not gonna be rude. Like, what, she gonna get mad at me for, you know, not believing her? Like, I don't know you, you know? So that makes her sort of say, oh God, you know, that model, you know, let me show you pictures, you know? And with guys, when you give that guy a face, like, what are you talking about? The guy goes, oh, you know, he'll get desperate. You know, like, he'll just get desperate. It's just little things like that. And again, don't do it all the goddamn time. You're not going to be, and then 2 seconds, once every, like, I don't know, once every 15 minutes, you do that and, like, give him that look. You're just showing negative emotion. Because when you like someone, you don't show that. You know? When you don't like someone, when you don't like someone, you'll tell them, hey, look, man, you know, you got to, for example, like, when I'm on a date and she is late on a date, I did this once because she didn't look like the photos. So I met her and she was late on the date. So I was like, look, man, you're gonna have to pay for the first drink. You were late. Cause I was like, I'm hoping she says no. She was like, I'll pay for it. I was like, fuck. And went on the date. But then I was like, you know, I'm gonna start doing that, right? And I was like, look, man, like, if you're late, you gotta pay for that first drink, man. You're like 30 minutes late. I'll pay for the first drink. And usually they do, and if they don't, I'm like, let's just do it some other time. You know? And that sort of, she'll pay for it, but in her mind, she's like, ah, man, like, this guy, you know, sort of, he takes his time, you know, valuable. And it's true, like, you gotta take your time valuable, right? But that's what I'm saying is that, don't be afraid to say something when you feel like they're saying something stupid. Or when she says something that doesn't make sense, you know, give her the look, what the hell are you talking about? You know, like, if she says she watches Jersey Shore, I'm like, what? Jersey Shore, what? You know, like, you don't, how many times do you do that in a day, you know? Like, when you're talking to someone that you really like, you don't show negative emotion. That's the thing. When you like someone, you don't do that. You're afraid to do that. You gotta do that. They'll respect you more. Because when you show negative emotion, it makes them realize that, you know what? He might dislike me. If he doesn't like me now, I could say something that could turn him off or her off. Make sense? Make sense? All right, so the next thing is a triangle, which is good, but it's a delicate balance, creating a triangle of love per se. A triangle could be, you might say like, oh, you know, what, do you want me to, you know, start going to a black personal trainer and telling him that? Yes, that's one thing. Like saying that you're going to a gym and that you start training or that you start taking jiu-jitsu. You guys, if anybody knows jiu-jitsu, that's a physical sport. And any of these three guys will tell you, their girl starts doing jiu-jitsu or wrestling, they know what goes on. The guy's grappling her. And I mean, you're gonna be like, well, I don't like this, I gotta go to class with you. You know, especially if she says, yeah, go to one class, you know, it's free. And then you see this buffed up dude showing her jiu-jitsu, holding her, and she's smiling at him. You may not be going out with him, but in his mind, that's his competition now. You know, he's gonna have to start going there. He's gonna feel a little bit insecure. And that insecurity creates more desire. Because now he's like, fuck, you know, my girl's desired. I'm jealous now. I want her. you know, and vice versa with guys. You know, you find a way to be surrounded. It's not easier with guys, to be honest with you, but yeah, with women, you know, I gotta prepare this a little better. But essentially, though, the way a guy and a girl could do this is like when you dating a girl, talk about your ex in a very good way. You know, you don't talk shit about your ex. You say how amazing she was and how you broke up with her or him. You say, you know, I was the one who did it, and then you say, yeah, she's around sometimes. She's my friend, you know, and I broke up with her though. This is the thing, is that it will not make or break the relationship, but a girl will look at her. A girl will stalk her. A guy will look at him. A guy will stalk the dude, and God forbid he's black. This is a thing. This is a thing in America. Maybe not here, you know. But race does play a role though. If he's a white guy, you date a black guy, he's gonna get insecure. I'm sorry. If he's a black guy, you date a white guy, he's gonna get insecure. It's just how it is. It's no other way around it. You know. If a girl replaces me with a white guy, I'm like, I don't know how I feel, to be honest with you. I think I'll feel more insecure if it's another big black guy. Or is it just me? All right. Okay.
I think whoever is attracted, like, no matter what race, if they're like really attractive.
What happened?
No matter what race, if they're really attractive.
If they're really attractive, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But unfortunately, race does play a role. It does. There's some stereotypes.
Because you can't be that race if it's yourself. So I'm guessing you can't be that person and that person likes it.
Exactly. That's something you can't change, your skin color.
No,
you know?
in France, where I'm from, it's more about the status and the looks. We don't really love the color.
It's different in America.
Yeah,
in America, it's more like into that. Hey, people, thank you for coming. So yeah, that's it, playing the race card. It does work. I mean, like they may not. People won't tell you because it's not socially acceptable, but it will play a role. You know, it just will. You know, imagine your girl. You know, she started going to a personal trainer. You know, Tyson is there training her, and like you tell her, baby, I'm gonna go take some personal training. You know, you can't get mad at her. What are you gonna say? Don't work out? You know, are you gonna say don't work out with him? It's just gonna say, why are you telling me not to work out with him? Were you insecure? But you're not doing nothing with him. Look, I'm telling you, you guys looking at me crazy right now. But it does work. Just anyway, there's other ways to do it. Just talking good about your ex. It's like saying, you know, he was a great guy, this and that, and simply talking good about your ex and not talking shit will make you like, all right, you know, something's up right here, you know. But it's just gonna be his side, because I remember this one girl I dated. She always talked good about her ex. Oh, he was a great guy, and that he cheated on her. That's another one. The fact that he cheated on her made me feel like, you know, she could easily go back to her. You know what I'm saying? And then she told him how she loved him. And this is the thing, is that because I knew that she loved him, and I knew that she didn't love me, it made me say, why can't she love me? But she loved him. Those things are just what the mind does. It's just your mind is twisted. That's why you don't tell somebody you love them. You tell them you love someone. You just don't tell them you love them. And they'll say, I want to be that person that you loved. And they, in their minds, they're in competition with the person you loved once, because you have the potential to love. Am I making sense right now? It's a very simple thing. You just tell somebody that you loved someone, you show them a picture, and heck, don't even delete the photos from Facebook. Keep the album up. It's like, keep the album up, because those are your memories. What are you going to try to make me delete photos? I don't care about them.
No, I never delete anything.
You don't delete it. Like, women do that, where they'll delete the photos.
Yeah, women always do.
Don't do that. With me, do it. But with other guys, don't do it, because that is easy. That's like, a guy's gonna get jealous. And that's what you want. You guys gonna think, I don't wanna make you jealous. Yes, you do. You wanna make him jealous. Unless he's a narcissist, then you should be with him, you know. Am I making sense, people? Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's a triangle one. That's one thing. Another one could be just having a male crush on a celebrity. And like, that looks the total opposite of how he looks. You know, like if a girl's dating me and she's like, oh, I love Leonardo DiCaprio, you know. And look, the thing is that makes every other dude that looks like Leo in me insecure. In fact, even have a friend that kind of looks like him. Look, those things, you're saying, oh, this dude sounds as crazy as his videos, you know, but it's just how it is. Unfortunately, we're that gullible. Humans are that gullible. We buy into those silly things. Make sense? Any questions? Objections? Yeah, unfortunately, right?
I mean, like, you have to do it continuously, always, like, what is great?
Well, okay, so you just say it once or twice. You just, and that's gonna marinate. Just let that marinate.
Subconsciously.
Yeah. Yeah, let that baby marinate in his head, you know. The more you force it, the more he's gonna feel like you're doing it. So you wanna say subtly, like you're gonna say, oh yeah, I had an ex-boyfriend, I loved him. And then 2 weeks later, you're like you don't do it all at one shot. You just, because you want him to one day be taking a shower and be like, just feel insecure all of a sudden. Because that's been processing in his head. He may have had a dream of him by mistake, and maybe he didn't remember. I'm serious. Like, that's why they'll wake up just feeling insecure, because they had a dream of something and they just don't remember. You know, so the more you make it subtle, that's called insinuation. It's kind of like saying, it's kind of like if I'm skinny, right? And she said, oh yeah, you know, I love bodybuilders, it's so hot. Anyways, what you been up to today? You know, like she said it, but she didn't give me time to protest. What the fuck you talking about bodybuilders, man? Do you see me? I'm not a bodybuilder. But because she changed the topic, I'm like, I had a great day. How are you doing? And then a few days later, I'm like, damn, I gotta go to the gym. You know. And then when I'm working out at the gym, I'm just thinking of her when I'm working out. And I don't know where that came from. It feels like it came from me, but in reality, she did that shit. You know?
But do you think that someone who has like an abundance mindset and who is really, really confident and high status would care about this?
Yes, it wouldn't. No. See, that's different, right? Hey. Yes, shame. No. It's fine, don't worry about it. 1 second. Let me write this down. Okay? If you guys didn't get it, just ask what I meant, you know. It's important. So you know to test. Know to test, people. Know to test. Anyways. So yeah, so that's one thing. But again, look, I'm not saying to cheat. Don't cheat. Cheating is not good. All right? It's not good. You don't want to cheat on your boyfriends and girlfriends. But what I do tell you, no, don't cheat. Yeah, look, man, just have evidence. Like, if you're gonna go out on the weekend, you know, just to make him miss you, show pictures with your mom and grandma. You know, have evidence that proves your point. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't make him feel jealous without you having evidence that's 100% sure that says you weren't doing shit. You just want him to feel a little bit insecure. The thing is that you gotta make sure who you're dealing with, though. If this dude is violent, physically violent, or this chick is crazy and she's like done crazy shit in the past, you gotta know you gotta know your clientele. So I'm not just saying do this to anyone. You gotta know who you're dealing with. If this person
that's the difficult part, in my opinion. Because, like, for example, if you like somebody, let's say she's going with anxiety, for example, like mentally, so that if you like be cold, she might take it other way, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of personal. I find that difficult.
That's why you test her first. You gotta look at their reaction. You gotta just talk. Man, that's a whole nother subject. Finding out about their character. That's actually the next chapter. Of Robert Greene's book, The Laws of Human Nature, determining people's character. So definitely look at that, and also chapter 3, which is about narcissism. You guys do that because that's something that, you know, you gotta notice what you want to see also, because when you want it to work, you look for things and ignore things. You know, so I always say let people tell you who they are. In other words, when people do things, don't interpret them. Just look at the action as objective as possible. Because sometimes people show you who they are, but you don't notice it, you know? They might be playing a game with your basketball game, and you notice they're aggressive with everyone. They're not aggressive, but with you they're aggressive. But they're your friends, you know? But with you, for some reason, they're extra aggressive with you. There's something there, you know? They're just channeling it in a way that's socially acceptable. You know, with everyone they're nice when they're playing basketball. With you, they attack you more, they talk more shit on you. There's something there. Take everything as a signal. There's a reason why they're being extra competitive with you. They may resent you some way, you know? And so you got to look at everything as a sign. Don't just look at the words. Look at people's voice inflation as more. You know. So it's just the book talks about it. It really talks about that. So yeah. So that's one thing. So the triangle. The next one is mixed signals. Mixed signals could be that's a whole different topic, but in terms of your appearance and your character. Like for example, I have a friend who's very PC. My friend Marvin. But for some reason, he gets gangster for some time. He gets like, you know, he be like, yeah, you know, equality. And they be like, fuck these bitches. Whoa, what the hell, you know? And then one day he's like, yeah, you know, peace on earth. And then he's freestyling, you know? Like, and it's kind of like, you're like, all right, that's different. Like, you know, you forget that he could, you know, he comes from the hood a little bit, you know? I don't know. But or like a woman who is feminine but has a little bit of masculinity to her, you know? Or like it's just, looking dumb but being smart, you know. But don't be the opposite. Don't look smart and be dumb. That's different, you know. You gotta have something of substance. Like an artist, let me see, an example would be Michelangelo. I'm reading his biography. It talked about when he was making the Sistine Chapel, he got so immersed in his work, he barely saw anyone. He worked from early morning to late night. And when he would go to the Sistine Chapel, he would go there literally hooded, just looking at the floor, not making eye contact with anyone, just focused on his work, right? And people saw him, they thought he was crazy, but in reality, he was one of the most brilliant minds of the time. And that's a huge paradox. A dude that looks like complete bum, but a complete genius, right? So those paradoxes make you stand out. You know, you see Einstein, he looks crazy, but he's a genius, right? You'll notice everything that's a fascination has a contradiction to it. So when you're someone, and I'm not saying to play a character, to create a persona, but what you have to understand is that if you don't create your image, somebody else will create your image, you know? And so you got to learn how to tailor your image properly, you know? And that comes from knowing who you are and finding a way to become more interested in something that's outside of yourself, you know, having more curiosity for other things, you know? And so, for example, it's kind of like the girls who do game, right? Girls love gamer girls, right? Even though it's because they're a girl who does guy things. In reality, that's for some guys, that's a suppression of their homosexuality, because they want a guy, but they want him directly, so they want a girl who kind of reminds them of a guy. I mean, that's a little suppression. That's okay, nothing wrong with that, you know. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. But that's really is, though. That's really what it is. That's why guys kind of like girls who are a little masculine, right? And there's a reason why a lot of guys back then, in the Roman times, a lot of them were gay. Maybe we were all secretly gay. I don't know, guys, right? I don't know. Anyways, am I making sense? The mixed signal part? Okay. If you guys have questions, just let me know. Can I get the time?
So 140.
140. Okay, good. When we're done, we're all gonna leave. we're gonna make a run for it. We're gonna stop straight up. All right. Okay. This is actually the most interesting seminars I've done. Are you guys listening to me back there? You guys hear me well? Okay. You guys have any questions? Just raise your hands and stuff like that. Don't brush your hair because I think that's your hand being raised. That is secure, I'm hoping. Another one, which is the saddest part, is replaceability. You got to give people that they're replaceable. You know, why do you value your job so well? Because you can easily be replaced. If you know that your manager can't replace you, you'll act like a dickhead. You'll be more of yourself. You'll be late to work. That's why superstars, athletes, LeBron, that's why he's a drama queen. I don't know who your athletes are. What is it like? I don't know, some British dude? What's Messi? No?
Yeah.
What is it? Oh, what is it?
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane, yeah. That's why, I don't know, sorry. Americans, we're not too knowledgeable about our world. But, you know, like, if you know that somebody cannot replace you, you're gonna act like you don't care. It's like when a guy, it's like women, let me tell you something, guys, about women, is that when they feel like you can't replace them, they'll start acting up. You know, they'll start saying, and then they'll start, because they know you can't replace them. It's just human psychology. It's not that women are mean, but that they know you can't replace them, and so they'll act up. In fact, they'll try. Sometimes when they know you can't replace them, they'll know they're with you. They're like, oh, I'm with a dude who can't get girls. They're not gonna say that, but their emotional reaction will reflect it, and so they'll want you to break up with them. So they'll act like a bitch with you. They'll start complaining to you, and you know, if you don't break up with them, then they'll be forced to cheat. Unfortunately, because this guy lets me treat him like anything. He doesn't stand up for himself. He should have broken up with me a long time ago. And you know what, man? I've been looking for other guys a long time because I've been hoping this guy breaks up with me. I just met this guy at my job, you know, and so they just naturally lose interest. But guys, and everyone should do, when people start taking you for granted, you just have to break it up with them. Show them that you're not playing, and because sometimes people force you to break up with them. When somebody disrespects you, they're forcing you to not be their friends. Unfortunately, you're forcing me to not be your friend. I mean, it's kind of like, if you expect me to still be your friend, you're forcing me to not be your friend. You know, so sometimes people just give you that option, and most people don't take it because they're afraid to lose them. You know, and so that's a big part. Is that deep down in your head, when you meet someone, and the thing is, you gotta either fake it till you make it. You know, because you won't have somebody. Most likely, as a guy, you won't have a replacement. Women will have a replacement. In fact, they've been looking for the replacement a long time ago. Not flirting, they've been looking, they're flirting, they're looking, oh, he's cute. Oh, he's cute too. You know, and then if they don't act too needy, you know, the rule is the least neediest guy is the one who's in line next. You know, the guy who didn't text you that much, pursue you that much, you know. And I could be wrong, I don't know, right? All right, I guess they're not saying no, so. Am I making sense, people?
Yeah.
Making sense? Yeah. Because even with guys, when you're with a guy, you know he has other options. You're like, oh man, like, I don't know how many girls he's talking to. He can easily replace me. You guys were like, that's not true. Okay, just think about the guy who you last struggled with. Like, think about the guy who broke up with you. You felt that. You felt that there maybe was somebody, or maybe you felt that he could potentially get somebody else. You know? And so you got to give that sense. And that sense comes through you essentially having a mental standard of, if they do this, I will leave. Like having a mental, almost like mentally rehearsing, leaving them if they do certain things. You have to rehearse leaving people. You have to rehearse in your head doing what's, because it's kind of like doing your death will. You don't want to do that, right? But you have to do it because in case it might happen. Doing it means you got to face the fact that you're going to die one day. Think, rehearsing in your mind, breaking up with people, ending friendships, you don't want to do it because it might happen, but it's, people don't like taking insurance because it means that there's a risk. Like, it's like taking life insurance. Like, life insurance is essentially you admitting you might die one day, and that's why you don't do it, right? So, mentally thinking about breaking up with them is something that you don't want to do because it could happen, and that might cause pain, but guess what? You got to do it. Because if you don't do it, life will do it, and when life does it, it doesn't do it when you're prepared. It does it when you just least expect it. Make sense? Yeah, that's when the blows hurt. Any questions? No?
But why women don't work up if they can't stay with a man, for example?
What do you mean?
Like you said, like they go cheat on someone or they had like bitchy. Why they don't just stop? They just stop from the beginning.
What do you mean by that? Give me an example.
I don't know, because when you said she started looking for replacements, and when you start looking for replacement, like you, the French word are coming to my mind. So let me also translate it. Basically, why, for example, when she doesn't want the guy anymore, why she doesn't just stop it?
It's kind of like having, it's kind of like telling, because it's difficult.
It's the truth.
But the thing is, it's difficult to tell that to someone, especially if you kind of feel bad. Most women, they don't, not women, just people don't like confrontation. So it's kind of like telling someone you have to move out, right? It's a little hard. Yeah. Like, oh, I gotta talk to you. That shit is hard. Yeah. And then you talk, you gotta say it. It's not easy. So that's why they'll do things hoping that you do it. Hoping that you break up with them, so they'll start disrespecting you. But the thing is that that's your chance. Is that when they start disrespecting you and you stand up for yourself, and she's like, oh, I'm not messing with it. I thought this dude was one way. In reality, this guy has some self-respect for himself. You know what? Don't talk to me. Get your clothes out of my house. Don't ever call me again. She's like, the fuck? I thought this dude. The fact that you stood up for yourself gained her respect, and the fact that you didn't come back to her gained her respect. And guess what happens when she comes back, John? Guess what happens when she comes back? I didn't like the way things happen. You're gonna have to make it up to me. And you know what? She's gonna have to do what, John? She's gonna have to suck a whole lot of dick. Like AMS says, people not laughing. But the point is that when somebody starts acting mean to you, the reason why you want to pull them away is because when they do come back, you're gonna say, look, man, I didn't like the way you treated me. How are you gonna make it up to me? And now the dynamic is, now they're the ones doing the work, and you put whatever price you want to put. You know, buy me this, buy me that, do this, do that, cook for me naked. I don't care. You pick whatever the hell you want to do. You know, but when that's the point of it. When somebody treats you this way, you push them away, and if they really valued you, guess what? They showed you they valued you. Now you know you have someone that really values you by simply standing up for yourself. And that's another point. The most attractive word, and this is true, the hottest word you can ever tell someone is not I like you, is not marry me, is not this or that. You guys ready? The most attractive word is no. You know, you could be a girl and you could be, I've been with girls and like, you know, they're like, you know, like they'll do anything, but when they say no, it reminds me that, oh shit, this is a person, Alexis. You know, like she'll be, because sometimes when you say yeah, you sort of, when somebody is so compliant to you, you don't see them as human. You really don't. You see them as like just robots. It's the truth. It's the truth. And when somebody is just there for a role, you don't see them as humans. But as soon as they say no or they stand up for themselves, you got like, oh shit, like this person is a person, you know? It's kind of like, you want this drink? No. And you kind of like, oh, like you have to deal with that awkwardness for a while. But that no makes the person respect you more. Does that make sense? And what happens when you like someone? You don't say no a lot, you know? So a lot of the things that we do when we like someone goes against what you should do when you want them to like you. And one of the biggest things is no, because when you don't like someone, you say no a lot to them. Want to go home with me? No. You know, are you busy? Are you free today? No. You see what I'm saying? But when you like them, you say yeah. A lot of things, yeah. So that your key is to say no and yes from time to time. And not say yes and no all the time. A girl hits you. A girl hits you up. Are you free tonight? Most guys say, yeah. Are you free tonight? No. Guess what? She's like, what?
That's really hard to see. If you go to the and come to my place and say no, that's really difficult.
It's,
like.
Yeah, as a guy, it's hard. That question, what are you doing tonight, is so hard to really act, you know, so hard. But, you know, you gotta sometimes, that just means we're not thinking straight. We're not thinking long term, you know. And the most attractive mentality is thinking long term. Thinking not trying to get a boyfriend 6 months from now, trying to get a boyfriend 2 years from now. 2 years from now, because it gives you more patience. You know, you when the guy you meet, he's good, but there's something wrong. You can say no to him. Now look, that doesn't. You also got to be realistic. You got to know where you are in life and what you could attract. So I'm not saying say yeah, be super picky, but I'm just saying know where you are, know what you can say yes and no to, know what you can potentially get, and base what you want based on realistic expectation. We're not here to get Ronaldo. You know, I'm not here to teach you guys how to get Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, don't even try that. We're here to help you guys get the guys that you could have potentially gotten, but you lost because of your neediness. The same thing with guys, because reality, the ones that really hurt us are not the ones that we didn't get, but the ones we got and then we lost because we were too goddamn needy. Those are the ones that really hurt. Make sense? So
basically, what it seems to be that you can somehow get to a point of losing the fear of the other person walking away from you, and you being prepared to be the one to walk away first.
Yeah.
And then you're in that, where you're basically in a stronger position always.
Mm-hmm.
And how would you get to that?
That's the thing. Is that you either have to go in with that mentality, like don't just go in deeply like, oh, this is the one. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like when you're hungry, when you eat. It's like when you're thirsty and you drink water. You didn't know you drank the whole cup. But when you're not thirsty and you drink water, it's like the whole cup is a struggle, right? You gotta go in there like just with overcompensate by looking for faults. If you naturally fall in love, make it an effort to look for faults. But the thing is that unfortunately, it takes courage to do that, and that's the muscle you gotta build. You feel like it might work out because you're afraid it might not work out. You sort of give in to them, but you have to know that staying here will cause more pain long term than the quick sting of losing them. And that it's a gamble you got to do. It's not pain free, you know, and that's the problem. We're looking for a pain free method. It's not pain free. You know, you're gonna get attached to people. You're gonna get attached to the people you didn't expect to get attached, and you're gonna have to deal with the fact that you gotta let go of them. Sucks though, right? But it is what it is.
Why do we get attached?
Hmm?
Why do we get attached?
I mean, they might remind us of something we lacked. You know, they might remind us of an ex that broke up with us, and so you might want to redeem yourself through them. They might catch you at the wrong time. You're depressed. You just gone through tough things, and they're there for you. You know, it's just so many things. You know, or you may kind of like them, and they may still like somebody else, and so they like you, but they're not really committed. So they show some coldness to their personality. So that when they're looking at you, they're not really looking at you. They're thinking about their exes, and you feel that. You're like, why aren't you really here? So you get insecure. So you start thinking about, you see, and it's a lot of things. I thought about this a lot. So, but I should definitely put a list where people start liking people. But a lot of it doesn't have to do with you, and that's the part. Is that sometimes a girl may like you, but a girl or guy may like you, but they're just not over their exes. You know, and it's not you, and they may want to like you. You know, but if you really want this to work and they're not over their ex, what you gotta do is hurt them more. Because if your hand hurts and you want to distract yourself from that pain, what you gotta do, you gotta hurt this hand a little bit harder. So now your attention is in his hand. And that's what's happened to me. I noticed I liked the girl for 2 years. I met this girl, bitch broke my heart. And then I can't stop, and then I couldn't stop thinking of her. And I forgot the other one. You know, so it's kind of like if you want to make someone like you and they're still not over someone, you got to let them come close to you. Show them you're not going to hurt them. And then you back off. Hopefully they're hurt. You know, you got to find a way to hurt them, unfortunately. I mean, it is what it is. I wish I didn't program people, you know. I'm just observing, you know, so don't get mad at me. All right, so, and one of the last things, because I'll be honest with you, I want to cut this short. I'm looking. And to become more attractive, move out the country. Real talk. I mean, you guys are not gonna do that. I know you guys are not gonna. Don't do it. Don't move out the country. What I'm saying is all relative. If you're a British person, you go to America, you're gonna be new. And you know, you're gonna be the new toy, and everyone's gonna be more attracted to you. You know, some countries like skinny women, some countries like big women. You know, and so you might be a skinny woman in the big women country, and they may not like you that much. So go to the skinny women country. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a black guy, go to Sweden. Don't say in Africa. You know, too common. You know.
Yeah, it's so true. Especially like a British man go abroad, and because of the accent, it works really well.
Mm-hmm.
You go to Sweden, if you're not like white, it's actually really easy to pick up.
Yeah.
It's like unique, isn't it?
I'm not joking. Yeah. It's true.
No, it's true. I come from France. It's just an accent. It's very easy.
Yeah, but then you have the issue of long distance, really.
Hey man, I'm just saying how to become more attractive. You know, how to make it work.
Just date anyone not in the country.
Exactly. Or if you plan to move there, go ahead, move there, right? But it's the truth though. It's funny. It sounds like a funny joke, but it makes sense. You know, like art. You know, the best art comes from you bringing art from another country and mixing it with your own, and now you have something new and creative. That's what Picasso did. He studied Mayan or whatever. I think he studied Mayan or a different kind of art that had the faces like that. I don't know if someone knows about Picasso, the influence. But as soon as he got that Mayan or ancient history of like the way he draws, because his noses look they look very indigenous the way he draws. He mixed it up with his style, and now it was something new, right? So with you, you know, if you guys are British people, go to America. They'll love you guys there. Trust me. You know, it's the truth. I'm not kidding. So I'm not kidding. It's the easiest way. The most expensive though. The easiest way to become more attractive. It is bar none. I guarantee you. You know, it's funny though. It's a funny thing, and a lot of people who are very PC they get mad at me. Like, tell us more about the country. You know, but hey man, try yourself. I went to Mexico and it was different. They treated me differently. We came to London and girls hit. Yo, I'll tell you a story. I came to London the first night. I went on Tinder. And
London is a place for Tinder.
Yeah, right. And these girl hit me up. She was like, "Hey, you know, come over, hang out. We got drinks." And I was like, "All right, cool, right?" I'm thinking she knows me from YouTube, right? Because she hit me up on Instagram, right? Because she messaged me on Instagram, so I'm thinking she got my Facebook, my YouTube from Instagram. And I'm like, I usually don't, but I'm in another country, so I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, whatever. Because it's like I don't like messing with my money. You know what I'm saying? So if she's a fan, I don't want to do nothing because I don't want to mess with my money. You know, so we went, and I went in there. I'm thinking that they know me, so I'm like pointing fingers, like, "Hey, what's up? Hey, I'm here in real life," you know. You know, and then the next morning, we found out that she went out with me because she just saw a video of me on my Instagram talking with an American accent. And I was thinking it was because of, you know, oh, YouTube, but no, it was just because, you know, she just saw the American accent. You know, that's no wonder they looked at me weird. I'm like, this guy's too comfortable in our house, you know. But yeah, so it's kind of like, it's funny, but it is what it is. Look, people, you guys have any questions? That was an interesting way of like, yeah, guys have any questions? What's up?
How do you find out about somebody's weakness or what they're lacking?
You gotta observe them. You gotta notice what excites them, what gets them. Like you gotta really observe what excites them, what gets them bored. And just observe. Don't make assumptions, but just observe. And then what you got to do is, when you collect information about their likes, their dislikes, the things that tighten up, the things that they say yes to, the things that they say no to, one day there's going to be a big overreaction to something. And all of those little information that you gathered up is going to make sense. You see what I'm saying? Like you'll notice that you hang out with him, he doesn't want to share the sandwich. Oh, cool, no big deal. He maybe just be hungry, you know. And then you guys are in another country and you know, you're a little hungry, he just gives you a little piece of his empanada. All right, cool, you know, fuck you, but all right, cool. You know, and then one day he breaks up with you and he doesn't even care about you. And then you realize, oh shit, what I saw was little glimpses of his personality, you know? So what you gotta do, take everything as a sign. as a signal. Every little thing that somebody does, take it as a signal. From what people wear, from what people dress, from everything that they do, take it as a sign. When they go on dates, notice what they dress, notice how they dress. Everything is a sign. Nothing is meaningless with people. So you just have to look at it. The key is for you to be willing to really process it and not fool yourself. Because when you like someone, your emotions are blinding you, and you sort of don't take the tour, and you sort of take, you know, like you sort of like just see mirages, you know. Don't take the tour. You guys know what I'm talking about. You sort of see mirages and stuff like that. And so what you got to do is notice how intensely you want this to work with a guy, and just realize that if you have intense emotions for this guy, there's bias, you know. So it takes time. A big part is time. You can't really get to know him on the first date, second date, third date. It has to be a crisis, you know. And when the crisis comes, they'll see it as a crisis, see it as a chance to get to know his character. The next chapter of in the Laws of Human Nature, I think it's chapter 5, determining people's character. We'll talk a lot about that. So it's better that you check that out. All right. What's up?
So, in terms of becoming a more desirable person, can that be applied to other areas? So, for example, business. So, I work for myself, and I come across certain people, certain clients, and often I see that men, I feel that they like to use their charm in order maybe to get things cheap or to take advantage of you. So can what you just spoke about in the past hour or so be applied in business?
Yeah. What's up?
And how?
With women, a big part is you got to conceal a lot of your femininity. You know, you can't smile too much. You got to talk. You know, Angela Merkel. That's an example. You guys got to take that blandness, not smiling too much, being even overcompensating, being extra bland. Because as a guy, unfortunately, if you're an attractive person to the guy, he's gonna see us. So you gotta show real. You gotta be like a brick wall, you know. And that's how you do it. You garner that respect as a woman. But another thing is having your standards. And you gotta know what you're worth. A big part, you know. But that's the thing is that that's like marketing, you know. So that's a bigger question, because with marketing also that means you gotta say no when somebody low offers you. You gotta know what you won't compromise, and a big part is not compromising. Because the thing is that I can't answer that. That's a lot. Yeah, I don't like talking on my ass. Yeah, but it does apply to business. Go check. Actually, that chapter, the chapter that we're talking about, it talks about Coco Chanel and how she advertised her company using what they talked about in that chapter. So I think it's better you check that out, because I don't want to talk on my ass when I don't know something. You know? Yeah. Make sense? What's up?
How do you deal with the situation of competition? When you like a guy and then there is another girl?
What you gotta do is, again, you don't compete. You don't compete. You want her, go take her. It's just how it is, man. And you know, it's gonna feel a little weird. Okay, I'll take it. And unfortunately, you're gonna look more high to her. You're gonna look more high value, because you don't like, you know what? I'm not gonna fight for you, dude. You think I'm gonna fight for you? You go. What you're telling me is like, look, that hurts. I don't give a fuck. If you're a guy, you're like, well, man, you gotta fight, and you're like, I ain't fighting. Go ahead, and you just walk away. That hurts your ego, and guess what? You're inflicting pain. And then in his mind, he's gonna receive that text of that girl, hey, and he's gonna like, oh, you know. So whenever time you want to fight, whenever you see a woman competing for your guy, let him go, man. Like first of all, he doesn't respect you enough to put you in a competition. You know, so it's not that he will never respect you though. Just because somebody doesn't respect you now doesn't mean they won't respect you. But the way to get them to respect you is to let them walk away. Show them that they're not as valuable as they think they are. In order for them to raise their value, they're gonna have to come back to you and get your validation, because you were the one that didn't like them. So you got something I want, which is my validation. Give it to me now. You know? Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up?
You said before about having boundaries. What type of things should you never tolerate?
Well, it depends you. Me, I don't like when people are late. So when she's late 30 minutes, she better buy the drink. You know? That's one thing. Or you know, like if she starts I don't know, if she wants a relationship soon, I'll say not now, later. It's never. But yeah, you know, like you gotta find what that is. Everyone has different boundaries. You gotta find out what that is. Write it down and write down the consequences. Write down things that say this warrants a breakup, this doesn't warrant a breakup. It's kind of like in the job policies. This warrants a firing, this warrants a write-up. And you just got to follow that, that's all.
But what if you might be going a bit overboard?
What, are they telling you or you feel like?
Like you might feel like your boundaries are a bit excessive.
Reanalyze it. You got to, hey, cool, you're late. Yeah. You gotta, the consequences have to fit the crime, you know? So that's something you gotta do. You gotta do that, you know? By the way, you guys know it was at 1, right?
No, it's 2.
Oh God, you didn't get the email.
I didn't get it either.
You didn't got it either? I'm gonna send you the video. Okay? I'm so sorry.
Are you finishing up now?
Almost. Don't worry. Just take. I'll be back one day. Don't worry about it. Don't give me that video. I'm sorry. You didn't get the email?
I didn't get the email. You sent me that picture on the Instagram.
I did. It said 2. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's 2.
No, it said 1. It said 1.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. You guys come from far?
Yes.
You should have said no. How far?
East London.
Oh.
It's not true, isn't it?
You guys can ask questions. If you guys have a question, just ask a question. You know.
Waste your time now.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. What were you saying?
Boundaries are there too if you're too strict.
Yeah. That's something you guys have to have in your mind. For example, like if a guy reschedules a date on you, right? Let me give you guys my boundaries. You guys could copy me, just do it on me. So I learned this from a dating coach. His name is Alpha Male Strategies. You guys know him? Oh yeah. You guys know him? Don't take him down. Yeah, he's a funny dude. I like him.
It's crazy.
Some women are shaking their heads. Yeah. One of the things that he teaches is, and I learned this from mom, is that when people say they're busy, right? They're not really busy. No one. I thought women were.
Women do that too. Like,
yeah. Some men, when they have girlfriends, or when they're not, or when they really are high status, or when they're married. All right. So when somebody says, for example, with guys, let me tell you something with girls, is that when they say that, I'll let you know, when you say, hey, let's hang out next week, and they say, I'll let you know, when in reality, they're trying to find out if the guy they really want is going to go out. You know? And see, they're laughing because it's true. You know, and so they'll hit you up like maybe at the day, maybe like 5 hours, like 2 hours before the day, and suddenly say, hey, let's hang out now. Guess what? She got flaked on. You know, or maybe he put the date up at 10 p.m. and now she wants to go out with you at 8 p.m. Finish the date early and hang out with him. I've seen women come to the date extra happy. You know, I know what happened. I'm like, you look too happy right now. You know, so she just came from a date from another dude. So with people, we're getting people respecting your time is that when somebody reschedules a date, you know, if it's not ahead of time, if somebody says, hey, let's do it at 8, and they say let's do it at 9, say, hey, you know what, I have something else to do at 10 p.m. Let's just do it some other time. You gotta, because now they're like, damn, like, if I reschedule, if I tell them, hey, let's do it at 8, and it was at 7, I'm afraid you might do that shit again. So I'm like, I'm gonna keep that date, you know? So, but the thing is, when you really like someone, you'll reschedule, you know? When you really like someone, you'll say sure. You see, but when you have options, when you maybe have a date at 9 p.m. and she reschedules for 8 and it's at 7, I'm gonna say, no, I can't, girl, I have other plans. You know? And so in her head, she might say, all right, you know what, let's keep it at 7 p.m. You know? At the end of the day, when you let people reschedule things, they start getting a little comfortable with you. You know, so you gotta find out what are the things that you find disrespectful, what are the things that you find annoying, and find out consequences for them. So if somebody cancels on you, then reschedule 2 weeks later. That's something that AMS teaches. 2 weeks later, not next week, 2 weeks later. So let's say, hey baby, I couldn't do it tonight, let's do it next week. You say, all right, cool. He says, hey, let's hang out this weekend. You're like, I'm sorry, we already made plans, hit me up next week. And he's gonna think twice to reschedule a plan with you. You know, but when you just take it, you say, okay, I'll do it. I'm telling you from my experience, when a woman lets me do that, I know she really likes me. And now I'm gonna start being a little bit more of myself. You know? So you guys have to have a very clear, almost be petty with your time. You gotta be petty with your time. You know? Another thing to show high value is your texting habits. Again, people care about how you text people. So always either A, be busy, that's the first thing, be busy, be really busy, have a real life, you know? Or C, or B, you know, when you get a text, don't respond immediately, wait 15 to 20 minutes. The first text, wait 2 or 3 hours, you know? And then after that, wait 15 to 20 minutes to respond. Look, man, I know you guys might say we don't have to play those games, but I didn't program people, I'm not God, you know? This is what people have reacted to, you know? And why I say that, because I first noticed myself. I noticed that when I wait, I get anxious. When you wait, you get anxious. You got to create that anxiety so that you create more desire. Make sense?
But you know about texting, you made a video, and there was a guy who made an experiment with the hot guy and the like normal guy.
Yeah.
And there was a big difference when you was testing. When you was saying like, it was like, I want to fuck you.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is. It was, he's talking about if a Tinder profile where they put a normal guy to an attractive guy, and they sent the craziest message, like the guy would send the girl, I want to rape you. And the girl was like, oh, okay, here's my number. Because he's hot, you know? It's an extent, but you know, and so with the guy, when the ugly guy did that, reported, banned, right? So the thing is that a woman, it's just people, I'm not saying they're going to let you rape you, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Oh, you're just kidding around because you're cute, you know? But it's not just cute, it's that you are of higher value. And higher value means it could be a lot of things. To me, as a guy, the best way to increase your value is to learn skills, to be the best at something. And guess what? We all have a brain. If you give it 5 to 10 years, you could be the best at something. You know, don't try to be the best at something. Don't try to be attractive in 2 years. Try to be attractive in 10 years. And then if you master something, in 5 or 10 years, you'll be a master, and people will come. You build it, and they will come, right? And that's the ability that everyone has, the ability to master anything. You're just afraid to try because you think it takes long. But what was I saying? Texting. Yeah, texting. Yeah, so texting for the first text, wait 5 hours or so to respond, and then after that, take 10 to 15 minutes, and then from time to time, respond fast.
What if someone isn't responding to you?
Well, if they don't, if they're not responding to you, then just don't text them. And you know what happens when they come back 2 weeks later and they say, "Hey, what's up?" What are you gonna say? I don't like the way you just stopped responding to me. You know, how are you gonna make it up? And you know what happens next? It's just gonna happen. It's just gonna happen. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Anyways, make sense? You guys don't get it. It's a joke.
No, it's good.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
I wish we're all women. I wish we'd known this earlier.
It's too late for me.
Oh, it's late. Okay.
Our thing was completely different.
No, we're talking about something completely different.
Yeah.
Is that when?
We've never been on a date.
No. We got married, had kids, divorced, worked.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We come from a different
Yeah.
era. Our sell-by date was going by the time we were 19 and get married off our parents' wonderful.
It's culture, man.
It's culture.
Culture,
yeah.
yeah.
It's different culture.
That's the big thing also with knowing people. You gotta understand. You gotta filter their actions through their culture also. You know, like you might meet an Asian, like some Asian people, they're quiet, but some people who are extroverted say, "Oh shit, like he's weird." No, he's just quiet. Understand his culture. He's just a quiet dude. You know, he's respectful. You know, he was raised with parents who told him, you know, listen, you know, and be respectful. So he'll just show respect. It's just it's just the culture. So you just have to. That's the thing people forget is that in Dominican Republic, when you go get food and you pay for the food, they'll throw the coins at you. And the first time I saw them, what the hell? This kid just threw my coins at me, man. I had to pick it up from the ground, but then I noticed it's part of the culture. They just throw the coins at you. So without understanding the context, you may have given that person a trait that really wasn't there. Make sense? Yeah. Any more questions? You guys have a question about anything?
No, I mean, there's so many questions. I know you're big on the Green Panel. There's got the Masters, the new book as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always fascinated because we belong to a book club as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we read a lot of classical literature. And this time, we do our book list in advance. And what fascinated me about you is the fact that you've always stood by
Yeah.
Overall. But the big thing that you mentioned a few, I think you just dropped in hints that you studied the Bible and you taught the Bible to people. And I was really fascinated by that because this month, the next 2 months in our book club, we're going hardcore reading the Bible. So we read that, starting with Genesis and John. And I just thought, it'd be nice to speak to you about all that as well. Just, you know, what insights can we gain from there, you know, going forward, and you know, how would you guide us to read that? Because we are open to, you know.
Yeah, I mean, reading the Bible again. Ooh, it's fun. I like reading. The Bible is fun to read because you know.
It's fun. It's not been fun so far.
Yeah, hey, it's fun for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I really liked it because you know you get to think a lot. You read different verses. You cross-reference.
No, it's amazing, isn't it?
No, it's really good. Really good. Very underrated. People who don't know, it's really good. But
seeing as we're in a church as well as I'm seeing before we're trying it.
yeah. Anyways, yeah, you can say that.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, like, in this cold and hot thing.
Yeah.
How not to seem too cold, really?
Well, I mean, just make sure that when you're back. Yeah, balance it out. You know, if you're cold, if he says if you do that face like he says something stupid, he's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? He says something, oh, you know, I like to play basketball. What? You play basketball? You don't look like you play basketball. You give him that look. He goes, yeah, I play basketball. You're like, oh, okay, that's cool. You see, balance it out. You know, if you go cold on him for like 1 day, the next day you give him a good morning text. You know, if you I don't know, if you say that, if you push him, let's say that you kiss him, right? You kiss him after the date. The next day you don't text him back. Oh, I thought you liked me. You see what I'm saying? So let's say you say I love you, right? The next day he doesn't hear from you. But you give him a valid excuse. You say something happened, but you don't give it to him while you're being cold. You do it to him when he's like, oh, what the hell's going on? The next day you hit him up, oh, I'm sorry, baby, this happened. Make sure to take pictures. You know. But I'm not saying if you gotta take pictures, that means he's a jealous person. But I'm just saying generally, if you're gonna go cold, and it's a real relationship, have something that shows that you ain't doing shit. You know. But generally though, if you say I love you, the next day go cold on him. You know, make him say like, oh, I have her, and then suddenly you don't hear from me. Oh, what the fuck? Now that it's completing the circle. Like, oh, she loves me. Oh, she doesn't. Oh,
being unpredictable, isn't it?
Exactly.
When you're used to something, that's when things die off.
Once you can predict something, you lose respect for it. In other words, it doesn't produce anxiety no more. You know, it's not as fun anymore. When people say you're fun, it doesn't mean that you're funny. No one's that funny. It's just that you make them feel anxiety and you relieve their anxiety. And that the relievement of the anxiety is fun, quote unquote.
So like, if someone tells you everything about the movie and you watch it, it's not fun, right? I think it's the same thing.
Exactly. It's the journey, you know? It's not the possession, it's the desiring of it. What's up?
What do you do in a situation where a guy asks you on a last minute date, but this guy says it's like a surprise?
Oh, what do you mean?
So like, he'll be like, oh, I'm in London today, I thought I would surprise you, but he's leaving the next day.
I mean, that's different. I mean, if it's me leaving the next day, yeah, I'm different when I'm traveling. You know, like, I'm just like, hey, let's get a drink near my place. You know?
But he wasn't really traveling, like, he didn't even say like beforehand. He just like, turned up in London. That's what I was.
Oh, yeah. You gotta find out if he's really traveling. You see, then you see how you have suspicion and say no. But if he's really traveling, I mean, you know when someone's really traveling, you know. So when the rules are different when you're traveling. How you text is different, you know, because you're there in limited time. You can't really wait that long, you know. It's all about context. What's up?
What if somebody's...
2 more questions and we're done. I'm sorry. Yeah.
What if somebody's putting in just enough effort to stay in your life, but not enough effort that you're happy with? So they're texting you every so often.
Leave them.
You ignore them.
Yeah, but the thing is that you gotta realize is that you either stay there and that's gonna stay, or you leave them, or that's gonna change, or it's not gonna be there no more. Like, you can't settle for less unless you're fine with it. But if you feel like you're not getting what you want, then leave them. Because if you leave them and they really like you, they'll like you more and they'll put more effort. But then if you leave them and they like you more and they come back, you can't take them back that easily. No. You know why? I didn't like the way you treated me that one time. How are you gonna make it up? And you know what happens next?
But isn't it no value to vocalize it and say, I wasn't happy with how you treated me?
No, you just remember, low value is not showing negative emotions. Higher value is showing negative emotions because it's only your boss who shows you that he's mad at you. You don't show him that you're mad at him, you know? The one behind you and then you. That's it. Sorry, people.
Do all of these tactics work with someone that you've known for quite some time?
Yeah, you could just suddenly start acting different, start acting a little cold,
Out of nowhere.
start canceling the dates from time to time. Give them a valid excuse though. You know, so for example, I was dating this girl and maybe she was doing it. I mean, she did watch my channel. Goddamn. Thinking back makes you realize she was watching it, but she just suddenly she got a job all of a sudden. This chick just got a job, and then she was doing training, and then she couldn't hang out with me all of a sudden, you know. And then she just went away, you know. But the thing is, her getting a job made me like, oh, I can't hang out with you as much and stuff like that. And so when you meet someone, just not be there that often. Just don't be there and be a little cold. It's like a friend when you feel like you're losing a friend. You know, when you do that with guys, with female friends, they'll start wanting to, hey, what's going on? With guy friends, they'll start liking you. So just back off. Just back off. Start texting less. Remove all the ha-has and LOLs and all the emojis. And start texting bland and take your time. And if that don't work, it wasn't meant to be. But usually that should work. Usually, if they like you. Or there's potential for them to like you. No? You.
Yeah, I was going to ask, sort of leading on from that question as well. So say like if you do like everything right and you create desire and then you go into like a relationship and everything, how do you like maintain that desire? Aside from like doing what you said, like be less available and have like a life and you know all of that stuff. Like if you do all of that as well.
Well, essentially it's almost having your hand on the trigger all the time. Never removing your hands. Never removing your hands from your sword, even if it's your friend. You know. In other words, it's kind of like just because you like them doesn't mean you're like always gonna be there. You deep in your mind, you always remind yourself, I could replace you. You know, always having that mentality in your head, because when you have that, that will show in your actions, and you got to do that from the beginning because when you start liking someone, it's very hard to get to that point, to go back to that point when you like someone. So it's better off to just have that as a mentality consistently. The thing is, you guys are not gonna learn until you guys are gonna learn the hard way. That's a problem.
Yep.
All you guys are gonna learn the hard way. All you guys are hard-headed. You guys are gonna have to get broken up so you guys can truly believe this works, because you're gonna notice it working on you. So I'm telling you, you guys are gonna go back to doing the same thing, being needy, because you're like, he doesn't know what he's talking about, you know. And then you're gonna notice that doing that will cause them to leave. Or you're gonna be smart and just think back about your life, about the guys that you liked, the guys that you lost, and notice what you did. And notice the guys that you didn't like, and notice what you did. You gotta observe those things, because in there will tell you what you could or cannot do to make people like you. I always tell people, just observe what happens when you like someone. Just notice what makes you like them more and what makes you not like them. Notice what makes things lose attraction and what makes you gain attraction. Just notice. Trust me, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. When you like someone, notice what made you like them. You know, notice what makes you turned off for someone. Because when you notice that, you gotta notice that you also do that too from time to time. It's just having a deep understanding of your reactions. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, people. Look, man. We gotta catch a flight. We gotta catch a flight at 6. All right. And I wish we could do this longer, but I'm gonna come back next year since all you guys are here. This year, in fact, I'm gonna come back this year since all you guys are here, and we're gonna do it better. And look, man. Say no to test. No to test. Test no. Say no. All right. Let me turn this off. Yeah. All right. So.